After Bitcoin, which introduced the consensus algorithm and digital scarcity, there is one other critical invention that has shaped the crypto ecosystem. That's the smart contract. A smart contract is a set of instructions or rules that are encoded onto the blockchain so as to execute when a certain condition is met. For instance, at a certain expiration date, or when the price of something hits a certain point. To understand smart contracts, we should first think about quote-unquote real contracts. What are these really? Well, a contract is really just a simple rule that two or more parties agree to. If this, then that. If you pay me this much money, I will give you this much back at a certain point in time. That's called a loan. Or if you pay me this much money, then if a certain event takes place within a predetermined length of time, I will pay you some money. This is also called insurance. These are the common types of contracts that literally run, the banking and insurance sectors. Well, now we can create them digitally. On a platform like Ethereum, you can create a self-enforcing contract that can be interacted with by however many parties. The contract lives in code on the blockchain, which, remember, is a distributed public ledger that anyone can audit. So we can always see the rules of these smart contracts in addition to how they've been executed in the past, with assurance that no one can alter these data points. Well, these types of digital blockchain-based contracts were first introduced with Ethereum in 2015, and they have since taken off. It's really hard to understate the significance of this invention. See, when it comes to business, everything we do in the world today relies on some sort of contract between buyers and sellers, or users and service providers. Think of banking, think of insurance, think of e-commerce or social media. They all have contracts with their users and with their business partners. The smart contract is set to revolutionize all of these business processes. Having worked on some of these types of projects myself across the private and public sectors, I can tell you it's already happening. This really is what has so many people excited about the potential of this technology. I think it's the single most important thing to understand the full extent of how crypto is revolutionary. Bitcoin introduced digital scarcity, and thus the possibility of real digital value. Bitcoin is kind of like 2D digital graphics that move just up and down and side to side. Ethereum then introduced an entire ecosystem of open source contract building blocks with which to create rules that interact with digital scarcity. Kind of like a 3D composable universe on top. These two things together, digital scarcity and the smart contract, are what make up the coming Internet of Value. I believe over the next several years, we're going to see a massive disruption to institutions that, quote-unquote, safeguard value in society at unreasonable costs. Banks, insurance companies, remittances, brokers, art labels, distributors of all sorts, they're all going to be impacted, and in some cases, already are being impacted. These industries all have something else in common. They have tons of unhappy or disaffected customers. Why? Because of all the stories of them betraying our trust again and again. The bank that acts irresponsibly, or the insurance company that screws you over on your claim. These stories, unfortunately, are all too true. These industries are ripe for disruption, and that disruption is coming. I think crypto, the Internet of Value, is what will disrupt them. And for those that see the change coming, I believe the opportunity for profit will be immense.